Since time immemorial, ancient humanity discovered the potential of that abundant earthly substance we call clay, for creating practical vessels for eating and drinking, and also extensive artistic expression. It can be modelled and moulded, pummeled and prodded, coiled and carved, scraped and scratched, to produce an unending number of ingenious artistic effects. Did you know that clay is actually decomposed rock? And by accident, ancient man stumbled upon the fact that it could be turned back into rock by heating it to a very high temperature. It could be decorated using metallic oxides and glazed with mineral-based formulas, which also became clear under those same high temperatures. What a remarkable substance clay is, and what an interesting craft is that of the potter. Birds, those wonderful, joyful, colourful, musical, amazing, fascinating and intriguing creatures that inhabit our earth, have been the subject of many a potter's creative skills for numerous reasons, almost since time began. I have found that clay and birds have come together for several reasons, which I will explain as we go along. Since ancient times, birds of various kinds have been revered or symbolized for religious or mythological reasons, and clay is just one of the mediums in which these bird idols have been made. Or they have been sculpted and painted on pottery just for the sheer pleasure of the artist potter who has created them. The very earliest examples come from the period we call BCE, before Common Era, such as this falcon-head drinking cup from the Chinese Yangshao period of 5 to 3000 BCE, and the Hittite culture of 1500 BCE produced these two vessels, one with a falcon-like head and the other shaped like a duck. This Minoan unglazed terracotta urn bears a lovely simple bird decoration. The Egyptian bar bird appeared about the 18th dynasty in Egypt. It is in painted terracotta. A little bit later comes this clay bird figure from the Warring States period. In Greek culture, the bird woman was a symbol of a siren, and here are two more examples of these terracotta figures. This interesting object in the shape of an eagle's head is a Greek Arabolus, and Arabolus was a small spherical or globular flask with a narrow neck used in ancient Greece to contain perfume or oil. The next interesting water pot is burnished terracotta from the Trujillo period in Peru, and this similarly shaped vessel in an interesting black terracotta is from the Andean Moche period and is simply described as a duck warrior. Here we have a lovely example of a carved terracotta tile which is pre-Columbian Aztec with a beautifully carved eagle motif. This terracotta vessel with its eagle head and claw feet comes from the Mexican Mixteca period, 900 to 1521 AD. And finally is this delightful pre-Columbian Pueblo Indian bird sculpture. You can see from these few examples how birds influenced pottery design from very early times. Now let's talk about the symbolic meaning and interpretation given to birds. This is a huge subject, but I have selected the most common examples that have been reproduced in the ceramic medium. In China, the phoenix is a mythical bird which supposedly dies by fire, then rises from its own ashes after 500 years. Therefore, it is a symbol of renewed life and often applied as a decorative feature on ceramic pieces. The Sankofa bird is an African mythical bird turning its head backwards to eat a precious egg. With origins in Ghanaian culture, the meaning of Sankofa centers around learning from one's past to make self-improvements. The bustard, seen here with this beautiful figure from the Meissen factory, can be found in abundance in Africa, Asia and India. It is a symbol of the marriage of souls, of fertility and of the descent of souls into the material world. Eagles are mentioned in Greek and Egyptian mythology, but the American and Canadian Indians seem to revere them most. They represent honesty, truth, majesty, strength, courage, wisdom, power, and freedom. Cuckoos are welcome as a sign of spring in Europe and are omens of a happy marriage. We all know that doves symbolize love and peace. Dreaming of them means happiness is at hand. They come in a myriad of different forms, such as this lovely George Jones Majolica turtle dove bowl and these dove tureens from Staffordshire. They were very popular at the turn of the 19th century. In Asia, cranes are symbols of long life. They are also considered to be a symbol of maternal love and happiness. Several cultures consider the crane to be a symbol of physical connection, and they believe them to be messengers of the gods. The Greeks and Romans regarded the crane as a symbol of spring and light, and the bird was considered sacred by Apollo. Owls. Well, they are often regarded as prophets of doom. In ancient Rome, as well as modern European and American superstitions, a hooting owl warns of death. In Greece, the owl is associated especially with Athena, the goddess of wisdom, knowledge, and fertility. But they are fascinating creatures. Now we come to the stork. In general, it's considered to be a good omen. Storks are symbols of good luck, of filial piety. In folklore or fairy tales, storks deliver babies, and some endow the stork with the power to cause pregnancy at a glance. Peacocks are symbolic of regrowth and rejuvenation, royalty, respect, honour and integrity. They're also a symbol of beauty, love and passion. This famous peacock, known as the Lockhart Peacock, was designed by Paul Comolera in 1873 and fired at the famous Minton pottery in Stoke-on-Trent in England. This earthenware Majolica glazed bird set sail from Gravesend, bound for Melbourne, on the 1st of March 1873. The ship on which it travelled was the ill-fated Lockhart. The peacock, along with other examples of Minton earthenware, was bound for the Great Exhibition of 1880 to celebrate the opening of Melbourne's newly completed exhibition building. The Lockhart was wrecked off Port Campbell in Victoria. The peacock, having been packed beautifully in a wooden crate, survived the wreck and was rescued unscathed but for a chip on its beak. It now rests at the Maritime Museum in Flagstaff Hill. Here are some more examples of ceramic recreations of that beautiful bird, the peacock. The Chelsea factory in England was well known for its beautiful bird sculptures, which are in soft paste porcelain. And the Meissen factory in Germany produced their works in hard-paste porcelain. And this beautiful treatment in the form of a vase is in Chinese porcelain. The flamingo, that fascinating, long-necked, long-legged pink creature, personifies romance, generosity, and emotional healing. It also is a symbol of community, balance, being open to others, and the free expression of emotions. Italian potteries have produced some splendid examples, and this lovely life-size flamingo tureen belongs to a friend of mine, and I was fortunate enough to be able to video it and show it to you. But I think it's purely for show.